Hi everybody, welcome to DayZ. Welcome to Xbox DayZ. And you may well be thinking, oh, well, yes, so what? What's special about Xbox DayZ? Well, what's special about this is that I'm not playing on an Xbox. I am in fact playing on my very old, clunky, 7-year-old Acer Aspire laptop, which is not a gaming laptop at all. It can barely play solitaire. Don't get me wrong, it's all right for video editing and stuff like that, but it has onboard graphics which are very, very low spec. So it can't play anything like DayZ. The way that I normally play my games, my high-end PC games, is using something like GeForce Now streaming service or my cloud PC, which again is a streaming service. However, what I decided to do today was to check out the Xbox streaming service. So if you buy Xbox Ultimate, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which I think is $10.99 a month, that's in pounds. What you get on your Xbox is you get Game Pass, so you get access to hundreds of games that you can download and play. You get Xbox Gold, which means you can have multiplayer online. And then with the Game Pass Ultimate, you also get Game Pass for PC, but you also get access to the cloud streaming platform. And they kind of talk about it in terms of, you can play on your tablet and you can play on your phone. But where it really comes into its own is here, playing on old computers. Because obviously you've got a decent sized screen. You can plug your Xbox controller in, or you can plug an Xbox controller in via USB. And it is perfectly suited to it. So what this means is, if you haven't got access to a console, or you don't want to buy one, you haven't got the means at the moment, or maybe your console has broken, and you don't want to invest in a gaming PC, or haven't got the resources like myself to invest in a gaming PC, all you've got to do is subscribe to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $10.99 a month, and you can play hundreds of Xbox games on your old crappy computer. So there's I'll put a link in the description below the video, but there's DayZ, there's PUBG, there's all the Xbox exclusives, all the Gears of War, all the Bethesda ones, so Fallout 4, Fallout 3, hundreds. At the moment there are 297 titles you can stream using their streaming service. Now they're console games, but I don't know whether this comes across very well. But they're looking pretty good. Now the other thing that's pretty cool about this as well is that I'm recording this using the software on my laptop using the Xbox app. And I'm combining that with my USB mic, and it records it pretty well as well. It records it at 30 frames a second, and this is playing higher than 30 frames a second. I can see it higher than 30 frames a second. And it seems to record it pretty good. Now, recording gameplay is notoriously difficult on laptops. Normally you need to use an external capture card or something like that in order to be able to do it. And you end up with all sorts of audio sync issues and things like that. But just especially for shorter videos like this one, this seems to work absolutely fine, which is mind-blowing in and of itself. Because if you've ever tried to record audio on an Xbox, audio and video gameplay on an Xbox at the same time, you'll know it's very, very difficult. In fact, you can't really do it. You have to record the gameplay on an external drive, and then copy that gameplay to your laptop, record some audio, combine it together, which let's go down here, which is a bit of a pain that you can't do in one go like you can on a PlayStation. So the fact that this can do that as well really does blow me away. I thought we would come to Riffy, because this is probably going to be like one of the last times we kind of see it before the gas comes with update 1.14. As I'm recording this video, the update is going to be next week. It's always a very, very cool place to visit this, I think, isn't it? So I would say that although the resolution isn't up there with, say, my Xbox Series S, where it's firing along at 60 frames a second, at 1080p, because obviously this is streaming. You know it's coming over the internet, but it looks pretty good. The frame rate is pretty good. The resolution is pretty good. And the responsiveness from the controls is, it's pretty good. It feels like I'm playing it on my Xbox, but it's just, the graphics aren't quite as good. But they're definitely up there with the PlayStation 4 graphics and the Xbox One graphics. Absolutely, and it seems to be smooth that way. Now there has been a couple of bugs. I did notice I had to log on and log off a couple of times because my character, for some reason, when I aim down sight like that, I couldn't click in my controller to aim down sight like that, which was a bit of a pain. But logging on and off a couple of times seemed to sort that out. So this has kind of blown me away a little bit, to be honest, because we all know that the barrier of entry to gaming is very expensive, isn't it? You've either got to buy a gaming PC, or you've got to buy a console, and you've got to buy the games on top of that. But with this Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $10.99 or $11.99 a month, whatever it is when you're watching this video, it means that as long as you've got an old PC, an old laptop, you can just subscribe to that, and then you can stream all those games, and you don't have to buy them. And it means you can play the likes of DayZ, PUBG, and 297 other games very, very easily. The only thing you probably do want is, I would imagine, and I haven't tested it with that, but I'd imagine it works best over a wired internet connection. So what that means is your laptop should be plugged in via a wire to your router. Now, I am not directly wired into my router. I actually use power line adapters. So my laptop is plugged into a power line adapter that goes into the wall, and that transfers the internet connection via the wall to my router downstairs, and it comes out that way, which is a little bit better than using wireless. Now, wireless might be all right if you've got a really good wireless connection, but normally to avoid things, you really want to use something like that. So that's probably the only caveat I would say. But apart from that, this is absolutely amazing, peeps. If maybe you're struggling on with your PC. Maybe it's an old PC, or maybe your graphics card is broken, maybe your console is broken. And how can I carry on gaming? All I've got is a crappy old laptop, or access to a crappy old laptop. Well, just subscribe to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. That's easy for me to say. And then download the app, and then just go to the cloud streaming section and stream it. This is a game changer. When streaming started, I remember I was very skeptical about it. Like, oh no, it's not going to. This isn't going to be any good. Things like lag and latency will destroy it. And true, probably if you're playing really fast Twitch shooters like Call of Duty or Battlefield or something like that, then yeah, you're probably right. But for games like DayZ, where there's a little bit more flexibility when it comes to timing, I think this works very, very well indeed. And the other thing is there's no waiting for downloading and installing the games either, and doing updates or anything like that, because that's all done in the cloud. So you can try out these 297 games on the offering they have in their cloud section, just by playing them. And then if you don't like it, you play the next one. But you don't have to download 30 gigs worth of games, which you've then got to delete, and move on that way. So there we go. It's blown me away. I'll put links in the description down below to the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and a previous video I've done as well, kind of digging into it a little bit more and showing you using my mobile phone kind of how it all works. But this is so cool. No, it means you can play DayZ, Xbox DayZ, without buying a console, without buying a PC, for like $10.99 a month. Absolutely amazing. Well done, Microsoft. These things that they're coming up with really are very special indeed. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'll stop waffling on. If you've enjoyed the video, if you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.